Hello BookTube, I'm coming to you with another tag video, and this is the A tag, originally created by Jim from Jim's Books, Reading and Stuff. A is for America. What do you consider the great American novel? And I don't consider any novel to be the great American novel, and I think the whole concept of the great American novel is stupid, and you should abandon the idea immediately. So therefore I refuse to give an answer. A is for arc. Which character in literature has the most interesting character arc? And for that I struggled to give an answer, not because there isn't any that I find interesting, but because there are so many that I find interesting. So many options to choose from. So thought I would have to say this one again. So this is Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck by Don Rosa, and the character of course is Scrooge McDuck. And first he is a wee Scottish duck who grows up in poverty, and then he moves to America in search of a more successful life, and has big ambitions of becoming the richest duck in the world. And yeah, he ultimately succeeds and amasses a big fortune. And yeah, he goes through a lifetime of adventures. And in the end, it could be very easy to perceive him as, this cold, capitalistic duck. However, his coldness is just, the surface, because he's actually very sentimental, full of emotions and memories. Yeah, he is a deep character. My second option would be Quoth from The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, and of course the sequel as well, Wise Man's Fear. And in this book we follow Quoth. He works as an innkeeper, has his own tavern or inn, one of those things, and that is apparently not his sort of real background. He has a bigger story behind him. And one day some chronicler comes in who seems to know more about Quoth than other people. So he starts to dig and wants to sort of find out the true story about him. So what these books really are, they are Quoth telling his life story to the chronicler. So I find that interesting. I'm not sure if other people will find that interesting, but these are well written. And of course, because the entire story is told from Quoth's point of view, he's just telling his story to the chronicler. You have to take that with a sort of pinch of salt, because you never know how truthful he is. Like, is he telling how things really happened? How much is he exaggerating? How much is he hiding? So, but yeah, I find that very fascinating. Then A is for Australia. What was the last book you read by an Australian author? And the first book that came to mind is The Arrival by Sean Tan. And this is do you say silent graphic novel or wordless graphic novel? But the means is that there are no words. The entire story is told through pictures, and here we have family moving to another place. And you just kind of have to figure out what's happening entirely based on these books. Quite fascinating, but it didn't have the sort of a punch that I was hoping for. But yeah, this is a good book, but nothing that spectacular, I think. A is for Austen. What do you plan to read for Jane Austen July? And I don't plan to read anything for Jane Austen July. A is for automobile. What is your favorite literary automobile? And again, I'll bring in the ducks. We have 313 Donald Duck's car. It's a very old car. Lots of sentimental value because it doesn't really work, and it works when you least expect it. So it can leave you by the side of the road and brake whenever it feels like braking. A is for anonymous. What is your favorite book or poem published anonymously? And difficult to say which one is my favorite. I like Beowulf. This is translated by Seamus Heaney. And yeah, Beowulf, warrior becomes a king, and then the story is basically what is a good king. Excellent use of alliteration there. And then we have Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Verse translation by Keith Harrison. And I have this fascination with Arthurian legends, and yeah, Sir Gawain is one of King Arthur's knights, and in this story, there's some kind of green knight who comes to some Arthur's event. Can't remember what kind of event that was, but so Gawain accepts his challenge and ends up beheading this Green Knight. However, Green Knight is somewhat magical, and he just picks up his head and acts like nothing happened. However, the gist was that the Green Knight would do the same kind of damage to Sir Gawain as he did on the Green Knight. So basically this means that Green Knight would behead Sir Gawain in a year or something. And then, of course, will he survive or not? We would know. Read the book. A is for autobiography. What was the last autobiography you read? And I don't think I've read any autobiographies. I have read biographies and fiction with biographical elements. And I did order Rob Halford's Confess, which is Rob Halford's singer from Judas Priest. His autobiography. I ordered that on last September. It was supposed to arrive on October. Well, it still hasn't arrived. Yeah. Sucks. A is for audiobooks. Do you consider listening to an audiobook as reading? Well, as the verb itself suggests, listen, read. Yeah, listening to an audiobook is not reading. That is listening. Come on. But yeah, does it count as a valid way to experience a book? Yeah, totally. And for some people that might be the only way they can experience a book. So yeah, this whole debate about reading versus, or is listening reading, I think that's kind of irrelevant. Yeah, it's a valid way to experience a book. Anyway, that's it. The A tag. I hope you like it. Back to my bookie activities and see you soon.